to go a bit more in depth today and walk you through my view on Bitcoin and, as a result, the market as a whole. Yesterday, I had a long conversation with a friend of mine. We were discussing Elliott wave theory, and we ended up with two different perspectives, both of which I'll try to explain now. First of all, nothing you're about to hear is the ultimate truth. This is not financial advice, not a call to action. It's just wave analysis. And more importantly, it aligns very well with the current psychology of the market. Now, the first thing I want to point out is the similarity to the 2021 to 2022 chart. I honestly hate these kinds of comparisons when I see them on Twitter, but in this case, it's just too obvious to ignore. Let me walk you through it. If we map out the 5-wave structure from 2021 to 2022, I basically treat the two major highs as part of a single 5th wave. After that, we clearly saw an ABC correction to the downside, and from there, we start to recognize a very familiar structure forming today. Another important detail, the double top behavior. We saw it back then, and we're seeing it again now. First, price sets a high. Then we get a pullback that lasts about a week. After that, price pushes slightly higher, just 1 to 2% above the previous high. And that's where the ABC correction begins. This exact same pattern is happening right now. And I want to emphasize, I've been talking about this for over half a year. That's exactly why, during the drop on October 10th, I was one of the few who actually made money on that move. Everything was documented in my channel. Feel free to check it out. Now, if we draw the current structure as a 5-wave move, we're seeing a very similar picture. Yes, I'll admit, wave 3 here is a bit roughly drawn, a bit subjective, but that doesn't change the overall idea. Once again, if we follow the analogy with 2022, we should expect one more move to the downside. After that, we could see the beginning of a new cycle, a fresh 1 to 2 wave structure, and so on. And logically, it also makes sense, because below us, we have very attractive lows in the 50 to 55,000 range for Bitcoin. That's liquidity, that's interest, that's where price could be drawn. Yesterday, I mapped this out more cleanly for myself, not just with rough sketches, but with more structured lines. Now, let's talk about the alternative view, the one my friend suggested. His idea is that we're currently in wave 4, meaning the 125,000 high was actually the top of wave 3, the strongest and most extended wave. And what we're seeing right now is just a correction. But I have a few problems with that perspective. First, it's very hard to fit a proper 5-wave structure inside that supposed wave 3. And even if you try to force it, wave 3 ends up being too short, which contradicts the theory. Second, the depth of the current correction. We've already dropped about 50% from the high. So what does that imply? That wave 5 should now push 60% or more to the upside and break the highs? That just doesn't make sense to me. I usually describe wave 5 as the FOMO wave. That's when retail traders rush in. That's when you hear everywhere, Bitcoin to a million, Bitcoin to a billion, maximum hype, maximum euphoria. And the thing is, we already saw that at 125,000, which is another strong argument that we're not in wave 4, but rather in an ABC correction. And look at the market right now. There's panic. People are selling, exiting positions. Crypto is dead. Crypto is a scam. isn't that exactly the kind of environment where a new wave one could begin forming? Now, there's also a third idea we discussed yesterday. What if we're not in an ABC correction at all, but instead, we've already started a new one to 5 structure, just in a downtrend, and right now we're on the edge of wave 3, which would mean a very strong move to the downside is coming. And again, even in this scenario, we can see similarities with the 2021 to 2022 structure. So, no matter how you look at it, for now, I'm still holding my Bitcoin short. I'm targeting the 50 to 55,000 zone. And once we get there, I'll start looking for confirmations to buy the market back